Hey, welcome back to YT Finance, and this is the channel where I went to business school so you didn't need to, and today we are talking about Sofi Technologies and their latest news updates and price targets among professionals. We will be analyzing an article by a naysayer, critic, and a bear who doesn't want to see Sofi Technologies succeed, so I will be picking apart his article to say if Sofi Technologies is really a good buying opportunity right now because he believes this company is actually way overvalued and how the stock price could fall over the next few quarters. The next story we're going to be going into is how Palantir Technologies has recently gained a contract for $85.1 million. So we're going to be going over their latest price targets among professionals, what we could expect from the PLTR stock over the next few quarters, and if either of these companies are good buying opportunities, selling opportunities, or if we should hold these companies over the long term. So for more videos on Sofi Technologies or Palantir Technologies, remember to go and obliterate that like button right now, subscribe if you are new, comment your thoughts down below about where you think the Sofi stock price or the Palantir stock price is going to be headed over the next few quarters. And without further ado, I say let's just get right into today's stories. Sofi Technologies, if you didn't know, is a fintech company or a financial technology company that offers their consumers an all-in-one inclusive digital app which allows them to access various financial services and financial products. Currently, the Sofi stock price trades for $5.44, but professionals believe the company should be worth anywhere between $7 on the low end and $11 on the high end. This means that technically the stock price could be considered undervalued right now because it should be trading anywhere between $7 and $11, but clearly it's not. It's trading below that range. However, the author of this article believes the opposite, which means he believes the stock price is too high and how the stock price will drop even lower, and he actually gives us what the stock price should be worth according to his own opinion. So let's dive into it. He starts off the article talking about bulls, or basically investors who are very positive and believe in the fundamentals and the management of Sofi Technologies, ticker symbol SOFI. He says the main bullish thesis for this company is the potential tailwind, which is good. Tailwinds push ships, headwinds prevent ships from moving the right direction, so we want tailwinds, and this particular tailwind and catalyst that bullish investors are waiting for is the ending of the student loan moratorium, where various student loan borrowers don't have to pay on their debts, and also their debt is not accruing interest right now. But the student loan moratorium, like we have talked about in other videos, is currently projected to end on January 1st of 2023. So investors believe that once this student loan moratorium ends, it will increase and have a big jump in demand for Sofi Technologies' student loan refinancing business, which is basically their bread and butter. Sofi Technologies makes a lot of their revenues from refinancing student loans, but ever since the student loan moratorium, there's been no reason for various students to refinance their loans. So he says, the author of this article says that investors are really leaning on the ability and the catalyst for this giant surge in a student loan refinancing demand, which hopefully will increase their overall financials, which will enable Sofi Technologies to deliver top-end results. But he says, not too fast. We are currently in a very negative environment with high inflation, rising interest rates, and the growing threats of a recession, which technically we are already in. I don't know if you know that. If you look at the GDP, we can actually tell if we are technically in a recession. And as of right now, yes, we technically are in a recession. However, I don't think the recession is that bad as of right now. And he believes that the fears of the recession, increasing interest rates, and general high inflation in the economy represents a large downside risk ahead for Sofi Technologies and other growth stocks. So let's see what he actually means regarding these comments. Well, he says that Sofi stock is seriously mispriced, which means he believes that the company should not be trading at around $5 per share. He also goes in to say that last week, Sofi Technologies hit new all-time lows, which is true, and fans of this stock, instead of selling their positions, treat it more as a can't-miss buying opportunity because they believe the company is mispriced. And I would say it's not only investors who believe this, but also professionals, because if we look at what analysts are saying, which do tend to move the goalposts, but they believe the company is worth at minimum $7, and it's clearly trading below $7. investors. The author goes on and says that he believes that SoFi stock price is mispriced, but not in the same way that bullish investors see it. Instead of bullish investors thinking that the company is undervalued and a good buying opportunity, he actually believes the company is overvalued and it's a good selling opportunity right now. So what evidence does he have for his particular position? Well, he says that investors are quote-unquote overestimating the impact of SoFi's student loan catalyst. Now, I want to add that I really don't think investors are. Once the student loan demand opens up for student loan refinancing, SoFi Technologies will get a giant increase and a very large load of demand for this particular product offering, to where current estimates project that nearly 40% revenue growth for SoFi Technologies next year will be somewhat contributed to the student loan moratorium ending. So I actually adamantly disagree with him on this particular point. Now, what I find interesting is that he has no basis for this particular claim that SoFi will not receive a large increase in their overall demand for their student loan refinancing services and products. And that just doesn't sit very well with me. I need data to back up any of these assertions and claims. He also highlights how there's going to be more downside opportunities and a negative demand for SoFi Technologies in the future, particularly next year when student loan repayments are back in full swing. He says, and I quote, that they are unlikely to result in better than expected quarterly results for SoFi Technologies. And let me agree to disagree with him here. Yes, I understand that as soon as the student loan moratorium ends, the next quarter we are not going to see that demand reflected in that quarterly earnings report, because normally they're always a quarter behind what is actually going on. So we're going to have to wait at least 1 to 2 quarters until we see that demand and that revenue reflection of people refinancing their student loans for SoFi Technologies. So I say that he's right to a degree, but I think he is misleading investors in this regard, saying that it's unlikely that this increase in demand will happen and how it's going to result in better than expected quarterly results for SoFi Technologies. I think he definitely needs to be more specific. Yes, I agree, in the first quarter of 2023, it's not going to be reflected, at least it's not going to be reflected anywhere as much as it's going to be reflected in the second or third quarter results. He also says that the excitement over the student loan moratorium catalyst and how it's ending is going to disappear, which is going to frustrate investors, and it's going to have a negative impact on the SoFi Technologies stock price and the overall performance of their share price. And I agree with him that yes, I do think that some investors believe that the SoFi stock is going to surge after the student loan moratorium ends, and if that does happen, I personally believe that the stock price is going to pull back, especially as the Federal Reserve continues to raise interest rates to fight inflation in 2023, which we could experience either a stock market crash or a very negative recession during that time period, which I agree with the author, that is definitely possible. But for me, I am mainly focusing on my core investments right now. I'm dollar cost averaging into ticker symbol VOO and VTI and other very strong ETFs, so I don't have to time the market. And then for my other growth stocks, such as SoFi and Palantir, I am just holding these companies. I'm not buying any more of these companies. I am quite content with the current allocations that I have for these particular companies. He also rightfully points out that higher interest rates means a lower present value for growth stocks, especially if they have debt on hand, which SoFi does, but Palantir doesn't. And this is going to impact their future results in terms of their stock price. And yes, that is 100% true. As interest rates rise, it actually negatively impacts the future stock price potential of growth stocks, which is why we've seen investors cyclically cycle out of growth and technology stocks and invest more heavily into, say, bonds or value stocks or blue chip stocks, or my personal favorite, ETFs. He then goes on and says that the downside risk for SoFi Technologies may actually be minimal, and I'll actually point out later in the article where he contradicts himself here. But I would say that, yes, I would say the downside risk is minimal because, at least according to the company's book value, the lowest the stock price should fall would be $3.34, and if it does fall that low, I would buy the company hand over fist. So if it does somehow drop to $3.34 or even below that, which is going to be their tangible book value price target, I would buy this company a lot more. Right now I have around a 4% allocation to it, but if it dropped that low, I would definitely add and bring that up to a 5% allocation for this company. Also, it's not huge downside from $5 down to $3.34. Clearly, that is quite a large drop, but if it does drop that low, either one of two things is going to happen. Either the management of Sofi Technologies will implement a reverse stock split, which I think will negatively impact the stock due to investor psychology, but in terms of the overall company, it really doesn't harm the company in any way. And if anything, it just gives investors a better buying opportunity if that decides to happen. Or, on the other hand, it's not even ever going to drop to $3.34, and eventually, when the United States economy overcomes this recessionary pressure, the stock price is going to surge, but we just don't know when that is. So that's why I advocate just to stay in the market, to hold your positions, and not necessarily buy any more risky growth stocks. But I don't advocate for the same position that this stock reporter is saying, to sell the company, because he says Sofi Technologies could return to high single digits over the next several years. However, he says that it's very unlikely and basically impossible for them to return to that $25 per share mark like they have in the previous years, due to all of the hype that was around this company at that time. Now, lastly, I do agree with him that this stock remains a risky play, but I don't agree that it's worth skipping out on. If anything, if you have SoFi, I would just hold this company. There's no reason to continuously overexpose yourself or dollar cost average down during this very negative macroeconomic environment. And then lastly, he adds that Portfolio Grader has a D rating on this company, which is pretty terrible, but I clearly disagree with that rating. I would rate SoFi probably around a C rating because it is a good stock that's worth holding as of right now. So I would love to hear your thoughts down below. Remember to not overexpose yourself to any particular growth company during times of macroeconomic uncertainty, which would include Palantir Technologies. So let's jump in to the Palantir stock news. If you didn't know, Palantir Technologies is a big data and analytics company that serves both commercial clients as well as government enterprises, and it currently trades at $8.57 per share, while professionals believe it should be trading anywhere between the range of $6 and $20. But the really good news about this company is that they've recently gained some momentum from this recent contract that they have landed with the U.S. Army Materiel Command. Palantir is basically going to support them in terms of their supply chain optimization efforts, and this contract has a duration of 5 years, and it's worth $85.1 million over that time frame, which is a very strong contract. This is a lot of money, so I do appreciate this. AMC is going to leverage Palantir's software to support various aspects of the company, like their logistics and their equipment reliability, and of course to implement and improve and optimize their overall supply chain, which a lot of companies could use right now. The pandemic really did a number on supply chains, and I really like how Palantir Technologies can be used to optimize supply chain, so I think this is actually good news for Palantir. The software of Palantir Technologies will be used to develop artificial intelligence and machine learning capabilities for these companies. And if you didn't know, a while ago, or actually a few weeks ago, Palantir landed a giant contract that is mainly focused around AI and ML learning capabilities. Also, I want to point out that earlier this month, Palantir won another contract with the Army that was worth around $59.1 million. So altogether, Palantir in the last month has gravitated and won well over $300 million worth of business, which should reflect positively in the later quarterly earnings reports, but I still believe that the next quarterly earnings report that is coming up is going to be rather negative, and it's going to miss the mark, and it's going to cause the PLTR stock price to fall. But I would love to hear your thoughts on that. Go and comment down below what you think of Palantir Technologies and Sofi Technologies from these stock news updates. Subscribe if you are new, smash that like button if you haven't already, and if you want more videos and updates on Sofi and Palantir. And with that being said, I will see you in the next YT video.